Good morning, everyone. So it's been a while. There's a lot of news that's gone down this week. I mean, actually, like a shocking amount of news this week. And well, I always try to have guests on, and I always try to have them one-on-one so we can have a nice, intimate conversation. And one guy who I really love to be on his channel, I always love to come up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 in the morning, depending on daylight savings time, and talk about the news is my good friend, Eric Hunley. Always
What's
love
up?
being on Eric Hunley Shaney. What's up, Eric? Now, unfortunately, sometimes you have plans. Sometimes you make a plan. Sometimes you talk about something for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you set a date and you say, this is the date we're going to make it happen. And somebody's been super chatting you. They've been sliding in your DMs. They've been texting you. They've been telling you, don't worry, baby, I'll make it. And then they send their sister. And people like that are Andy the Gamemaker. Andy,
how's it going? I've got, I've got a really wonderful surprise. This is actually supposed to, it was something I was supposed to share with you last weekend, but obviously I had a little snafu, which I can get into here in a little bit. But it was actually more appropriate with the topic of last week. And it's actually something I was planning on doing, regardless of what the topic was. So I've got quite the headband for you today.
Oh wow!
You like it?
A Cobra Kai moment here?
Yeah, I very much appreciate that. I very much appreciate that.
So I actually got this when I was in the Army. I was an Army officer. When I was at Captain's Career Course over at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and one of the things that I had the fortunate experience of having was we had some exchange officers who were with us, and so we had one of which was from Japan. And so before he left, he actually gave this to me as a gift. And this actually says Yamato on top of it, which stands for Japanese spirit. So I guess he thought I had, was the most akin to a Japanese spirit of all the officers in the class. So interpret that as you like.
It looks cool, but I'm statutorily obligated to hate it and say that that technically probably belongs to Korea. So anyways,
what is it? Don't they say that Korea is like the Irish of the Orient or the Asia?
That could very well be true based on the drinking, because frankly, the drinking is next level. Like I, as a lawyer, thought I was prepared, but no, my liver is not, not prepared.
In the chat, this is my raging bitch, and I'm with a couple, so hey.
Wait, is that the actual brand right now? Is it called Raging Bitch?
Yes, no, this is Flying Dog. Yep, Flying Dog, Raging.
Oh, I love Flying Dog.
Bitch.
Yeah. Oh, okay, got it. Just want to make sure. Don't want any accusations in the chat.
You ever hear of Hunter S. Thompson?
Yes, of course.
Yes,
of course.
Well, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, the artwork is this guy, same artist.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Speaking of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas,
it's a really good
Johnny Depp. No.
Yeah, have you guys been following this? Have you guys been watching any of the footage or catching any of it so far?
Well, I've been diligently trying to tune into Andy's sister's feed so I don't get yelled at. No, I'm just kidding. I can't get it all. I mean, I've got the day job. Interesting stuff. I'm still trying to find out what happened or how they figured it out. But one of the witnesses got yanked today. I mean, quite literally, the judge said, "I'm going to take a little bit of housekeeping break here, real quickly. Okay, I'm just going to take the jury out." And it's like, she turns over to her. She goes, "Have you been watching this trial?" "Oh, I've seen some clips." "Oh yeah, any follow up?" "You know what? Never mind. She's already seen it." You're excused. Your testimony, and she's like, "What?" So I'm not sure how they found out. I think that umbrella guy was saying on Twitter that he was going to reveal it at 5:30. I haven't had time to figure it out, but I would love to know if anybody in the chat knows how the Amber's team figured out that this woman had been watching the trial or clips at all.
That would be very, very interesting. Now, this is a witness, right? Not a juror.
Witness, I think. Yeah.
Witness on the stand, and that's pretty unusual.
I've never seen that in a trial before so far, but I mean, this is so high profile that I guess they're trying to stay clearly above board, but we'll definitely stay tuned for that one.
Right.
Judge didn't play. I mean, it's like she did break the rule. I mean, she admitted that she watched the clip, so bye-bye.
Mhm.
I don't see
Right.
where the judge had any other option. But
Yeah,
she
if she's
devastated.
openly admitting that, right?
Yeah.
And saying, "Hey, I'm going back and reviewing this testimony. I'm looking at the clips." I mean, that's obviously a violation of the rules of the court. If once you've made the open admission, and this judge hasn't been playing around. She's been very like square, very fair, very objective on the law. And the weird thing is, I guess the first couple of days of the trial, it seemed like Amber's team was going to be the one that was going to push the boundaries of the law, but this is one of Johnny's witnesses. So
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks
It's
for
so
him.
confusing to me because of the all the depositions, and I get a little bit lost on, wait, is this it's still their witnesses, and it's such a funky trial because it's like, okay, let's watch TV now.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I found Isaac on the stand to be the most interesting so far.
the dude was fun. I was worried though.
Have you guys seen his art though? Have you seen
yeah,
his art?
yeah.
No,
He loves Trump.
I have
He
not.
really
He
loves Trump.
loves Trump. He loves Trump. He loves Trump
Yes.
long time. He
Yeah,
loves Trump long time.
not
Andy,
too
do you
long,
want-
it looks like, or at least not the company.
Andy,
Whoa.
Google it outside the presence of your children. Let's put it
Yes.
that way.
Okay. Nowhere to be found.
Instagram, it's Isaac Baruch, Baruch, I think it is.
Yes. But let's just say that, because I know a lot of people are like, and I've said on my channel, a lot of people just are blindly simping for Johnny Depp, and a lot of people are like, Johnny Depp, this is so based. And I'm like, bro, number one, go check out Isaac Baruch's art. It is definitely breaded, and then go look at Johnny Depp's statement about President Trump. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh, that's
He's
less of a
Hollywood.
surprise.
It's just
Yeah.
right on the line. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's right in line with the typical Hollywood behavior. I mean, Eric, but for this happening, I mean, tell me if you guys think elsewise, but for this happening, I think Johnny Depp would be lining up with everybody else in Hollywood, behind every single
but yeah, I mean, he's no different. I mean,
Right.
other than
Right.
being, in between benders.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
I would say
but-
to a degree. I mean, he's still pretty, unique. He's not exactly. I don't exactly see him following along with corporate messages all the time.
Well,
That's
I will
my-
give him
my
this.
opinion.
Yeah. He plays with Alice Cooper,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
Alice Cooper's pretty conservative.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe there's
Yeah.
something. But
Yeah, I mean, and I think maybe he's a little bit more open-minded, and maybe the drugs have opened him up and whatnot. But I still don't see him, becoming the spokesperson for men even after this.
I love
think
how
it's more of
charitable
the
you were, Andrew.
perception. I mean, I'm just telling like it is, because I mean, I think that people come in with these overinflated expectations of what this is going to be, or what this is, what this is, and you have to tamp it down. Just like, Andy, you're a big stand for Jordan Peterson, and I say, look, Jordan is great on some things, he's not great on other things, and
Andrew, look at your
it kind of
chat.
shows.
Look at Celtic Commando.
Celtic Commando, one of Amber Heard's reporter friends found a witness like the clip of legal Biden stream
Wow.
from yesterday that a third party posted on Insta and texted to AH's legal team. Oh,
Boom.
bro.
Oh, and that was some of the
Way to
speculation
go,
because
Andy, your sister fucked it up.
She rolled a grenade into Depp's defense. Way to go.
oh my
Yeah,
God,
good
she has
job,
got to
good
turn that
job.
into marketing. We destroy
Good.
trials on this stream.
Celtic Commando, do you have a citation for that by chance?
Yes,
that you can share?
please.
Please drop in the chat.
Make
would
sure you
love to.
blue
Tweet
book
it
the
out, tag
citation.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's oh man, guys. That is just, I mean, that's just like LawTube coming full circle, right?
Well, it had to happen. I mean, there's all the streams out there, and
Right.
yeah, it had to happen. It's great that it's happening for Alita, though, who just crossed
Yeah, well-
50,000, mind you.
And shout out to her, and covering this. I mean, frankly, like you guys know, sticking around for these trials is a marathon. It's a lot of work. For me, it's in the middle of the night, so I can't catch every single one. Eventually, I have to sleep at some point. But this trial is going to go on for a very long time.
6 weeks.
So there's going to be a lot of testimony. It's going to be a very long time. But I think people are paying attention to it now, certainly. And I think that the first witnesses are I mean, this is essentially so big. I'm seeing channels that I've never really seen before streaming it, and just a random channels that don't have that many subs even can get a lot of followers off of this particular topic. So I'm glad that Alita is doing it, because I think this is going to be something that a lot of people are going to follow. And also, for me, this is, and I would like to get your guys' opinion on this. I think the bigger thing than the outcome is the exposure for this topic, both domestic violence, in terms of men, and also more specifically towards this scenario and reversing the narrative of Amber Heard was the victim to, she wasn't innocent, which I think is different. But what do you think about that, Eric?
No, I agree, but there are going to be some problems. Like one of the testimonies earlier was, I think it was a marriage counselor, whatever, and I guess Johnny Depp said, and this line just stuck in my head, is like, that's a problem. She gave as good as she got. That is not the kind of message you want out there, because as soon as if they're fighting, I don't care if it's two ways or not. If they are literally at blows, then she is an abuse victim, technically. Even if she's getting a piece of her own, that admission right there can have a lot of play. And people are saying, well, it could be verbal, it could be, it's like, yeah, but the first thing that pops into your head, I mean, when I said she gave as good as she got, do you think, oh, she yells louder? No, you know exactly what that means. From a male perspective, it means that, hey, I throw down, and I took some blows as well. Not helpful at all. I think that a lot of that's going to be problematic, but I've argued with you and others on Fridays, Andrew. I don't know if you were on one, but I personally think that this case isn't even about winning. This is strictly a PR case, because if he did not fight it in the public, he'd never work again.
Eric, I could not agree with you more on that. That's actually entirely what I've been saying here. It almost, the outcome is irrelevant. Whether or not Johnny Depp wins a defamation case doesn't even really matter. What matters is that each side, and you're even seeing this in their opening statements, the way they're styling it, is to present as much negative information on the other side as possible. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I was covering a while back, a little while ago, about Representative Cawthorn, and he was talking about the cocaine and the orgies in DC. And I think this one, there were the 3 ones: stop coke, stop pills, that message. But to me, okay, guys, does it really matter to you that somebody in Hollywood is, I mean, seriously, I mean, are you shocked?
Yeah, it's nothing new at all. And that's why, like I was going to say this earlier, I feel like in some ways this is a red pill, but not by much. And I say not by much just because, again, like this is, I'm not surprised by the things I'm hearing about Johnny Depp necessarily. I tend to see him as someone who's not necessarily like, I mean, there's the possibility that he was pretty aggressive towards her in certain instances. So that is definitely out there. But I guess what it just comes down to is it's not really going to shape too many opinions, or reshape other opinions, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I really just don't see, I don't know. It could ultimately just be a nothing burger, and it's actually kind of symbolic of the relationship based upon the way you're describing it, Andrew, where it's just like just the airing of the dirty laundry. Amber versus Johnny, and it really has no, I mean, again, outcome has no relevance whatsoever. It's just, again, it's just, what are they going to expose in the process, which is really, really sad, as Isaac said.
It's not a Rittenhouse though, and that's the thing. It's like like Rittenhouse is such a clear cut case that everybody can get behind. That was a true red pill case. You had literally people coming out of the woodwork on Twitter saying, I thought it was one way for a year and a half, only to find out all of this is 100% lie. So that one, is so clearly here. Here it's like the only aspect is, okay, so she's really a bitch. And it's kind of like,
And Eric, I would say this. I mean, you see all these organizations that came out, like the ACLU, my least favorite organization ever, especially since they backtracked on their love for free speech when they were backing Brandenburg versus Ohio, 40 years ago.
I think I follow the ADL, man. What do you want?
But it's like guys, if you're gonna name somebody as like spokesperson for women and like domestic violence representative, maybe you should do some due diligence as to whether or not it actually happened. Like maybe some baseline due diligence, just some basic checking to say, hey, does this story line up, or am I just believing her because she's famous and pretty and can go on the cover of a magazine,
and she can quiver on cue.
Yes, she can quiver on cue.
She's an actress. She's an actress.
The opening was some fun stuff because it was like when it was his opening, she was sitting there with this just look like, what a pussy.
Yeah.
I swear that was her expression. It was like, look at this cuck, this pussy. Yeah, and it was like, it did not go. And then it was like, oh, it's about me now.
Yeah. But her body language is so clear. It is so clear. And this is interesting because you have two actors, like two trained actors on both sides of this. But would you say, Eric, that she's winning the body language battle, or winning being a loose term? But
no. And the reason is because she's on cue all the time and it feels much more forced. I think Johnny's winning it clearly, and it's for a different reason. He is not pandering to the jury. He is actually avoiding the jury. He's avoiding everybody. And when he sits there, it's like he's sort of like this kid who's been taken to the principal and just doesn't want to be anything. He's not trying to be distracting. But then you see certain points, like with Isaac, and Isaac will talk about something that happened with Johnny and all that. And Johnny just is like, just starts to just kind of break. He was breaking that character, and that feels so much more sincere. Whereas everything with Amber is performative. She's looking at Johnny the whole time, like continuously focused on him, going up and down and modulating according to what's going on. Whereas Johnny, it's like, it's almost like they're dragging a response out of him. Truthfully, I think he looks stoned.
Yeah. I don't know if I completely agree with that, Eric, necessarily. Because I was actually on the segment with Spidey for a little bit just the other day, 2 days ago. And one of the things that, he pointed out is that, again, this is going to go on for 6 weeks, right?
Sure.
It's a marathon. And so to be able to maintain a very specific, that type of focus for an extended period of time, it's I'm sorry, I just can't help but think about Dumb and Dumber, or the sequel, where Lloyd, I guess, fools Harry for however many years as being like an invalid, or like just like mentally like just like ill or what have you. He just like hasn't fooled he's like, that was like his gimmick, the way he's gonna get Harry. But at any rate, I guess the point what I'm trying to say is that you're gonna see the cracks along the way.
Yeah, you do.
But I think it'd be much more it would be just way more obvious if they were trying to put on a very specific persona. I think they're being themselves, I guess what I'm trying to say, for the most part, at least.
Really, I feel like she is putting on persona because the timing is in there. And you can see a calculation. I mean, I'm not Spidey, and I'll hash it out with him. I'll text him later.
Oh, but I'm telling him that. I'm telling you said you're
please,
Spidey.
Go ahead.
Eric says he's Spidey.
Andy,
knows more about this stuff.
The drama
Spidey
maker
is so nice. Spidey is so nice. He'll be like, no, Eric, anyway. What I'm saying is that Johnny isn't performing.
Yeah.
And
Johnny isn't performing, and Amber seems like, compared to Johnny, she's being more artificial.
Yeah, I think Johnny.
And where you could tell it is like Isaac, and because she has this veneer, I'm doing this is my focus. Isaac said something like, "Oh, she's just a sweetheart and has nice teeth," and she kind of cracked, or what you said, and she cracked. So it's like, okay, you're moving for the focus. So now that was a real, and it's hard. And let's find out in 2 or 3 weeks. I think that Johnny's more sincere because he's not doing it. He's lazy. He's not playing. He's just kind of like, pretty much just down, and again, I'll say it again. I think that if he was to take a whiz quiz, that cannabinoids would probably show up in his system.
for sure.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. Yeah.
And by the way, completely legal in California. I mean, that could be on the
they're in Virginia
prescription list.
Oh, they're in Virginia, which fortunately is legal now. That's my state. Except you can't.
Is it medical or full in Virginia?
It's weird. You can't buy it except for medical, but it's legally, it's legal for recreational up to whatever. So I'm thinking that might be because of DC. I think it's fully legal and
yeah.
has, repositories or whatever the hell, you can buy it all the time. The state's going to sit there for a couple of years and get their cash. So they got the medical license going. And so you can have it like up to 3 ounces, which is a huge amount. Okay. I have a story.
I don't know. I mean,
But
you obviously haven't had too many big parties, Eric. Come on, man. Come on, 3 ounces.
Well, I haven't
Such a
here
bore.
parties.
Eric, you're so boring, Eric.
3 ounces.
I'm talking
me
per
and Andy
person,
will finish
dude.
that in
Sure thing,
25
Eric.
minutes. By the way, speaking of things we'll do, sleep is for the weak. Yes,
Ranger up,
stick to
baby.
the canoboids, not sleep. That'll get you through.
That's why Andrew will be on the show tomorrow at noon Eastern.
No. I have like, oh my god, my sleep schedule is so screwed this week because I tried to watch the trial on at least 2 days. I popped on to Leader's channel, I popped on a Nick's channel for a second, and then I realized what happened to me during Rittenhouse and how I just did not want to live anymore. And I'm like, I have to pick some days to sleep, pick some days to come on. I can't do it every single time.
For you, what does that look like behind the scenes when you pop on and pop off? I mean, like, you're like, what time is it typically when you're popping off? Like,
well, it is literally. So I do a stream in my mornings and evenings. I'll do streams, especially on these trial days, and what it is this. So think about this: when the trial is starting in the morning, that is my late evening. So that it's literally like the opposite. It's like opposite Bizarro land. So for example, I'll do my stream kind of before everything starts at maybe 8 in the morning or 7 in the morning or whatever. If it's rolling at 9, 9 is my like 10 p.m. So that's the beginning. So usually what I try to do is this. I try to catch an hour or two in the beginning, sleep, and then if I wake up again and for the end, let's say I'm up at like 6 or 7 in the morning, then I'll try to pop on. Otherwise, I'll just do a video whenever I wake up, which is now. I woke up 10 minutes before this, or whatever Eric DM'd me on Twitter is when I woke up. I was like, all right, I'm up now. And that's the way it usually goes for me. But it's interesting because I'm kind of bookending it. But to actually watch it would require me to go to sleeping during the day, and I try not to do that because I like my life.
I don't think I could sleep during the day.
It's difficult.
I can sleep easily. I'm the type of person, my wife really hates me for this. I'm the type of person who can sleep on a plane before takeoff.
That's military, dude.
Yeah. And
she, we're psycho, but yeah.
On the other hand, she like anything and everything wakes her up. And so she's like, damn you. Like, how can you sleep so easily? So, but
yeah. Go in the army, be in a cattle car with a bunch of other soldiers. And you learn that Kevlar helmet rests just perfectly on the butt of a rifle.
Yep. Yeah.
And you will be out. Why? Because you are going to take 5 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever minutes you can, whenever, and you learn it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. If ever.
That's a skill. Never say that Andy isn't a skilled man.
Obviously,
very skilled.
Look at his headgear.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, to try to, I admire everybody like your sister who is able to not only watch it, but then get out clips, get out recaps, because to try to get all those
She's
out.
cheating.
No, I understand, and I have an editor too, but my editor's in a different time zone, so there's always a bunch of lag. But I do appreciate.
Oh,
that.
speaking of your intro, is that tape damage?
That is tape damage. I had to talk with him because I was like, okay, I want to pay you. And he's like, okay, here's my PayPal. And I'm like, I got deplatformed off of PayPal because they didn't like some transactions I did. So let me give you some crypto instead. Yeah.
Oh my.
And it's funny, the particular crypto I sent him, and that's all the crypto I've ever had ever, just for that transaction. It was freaking Doge. And Doge, you know what's funny, Eric?
It was?
It spiked. It was Doge, and it spiked like 20% the day after I sent it to him.
Oh my!
I was like, I should have just held this Doge, But it was hilarious.
Oh, he must have been thrilled though.
Oh, he was thrilled, yeah, because it had been on a dip and it just ripped back up. So
yeah, you must have given it to him when it was what, like 13, and it's bounced up to 15, 16, wherever.
Something like that. Yeah, it was almost 12, I think. Even it was like very low. Hilarious. Oh, god damn it, RDB Bimby. Okay, yeah, I answer all super chats. All right, we'll start with you, Andy. Elf, chick, cat girl, or vampire?
Whatever floats your boat, baby.
I I have the emojis for the cat girl and the vampire lady. Those
is that
are
what
part
they're
of my
asking?
membership now. Yes.
Is that what they're asking?
Yes.
I have to
Yes.
see them. I don't know. Is there a way I can look at them?
Context?
No, they're not asking necessarily about the emojis because he was asking about this beforehand too. You know, just like theoretically, okay? Because theoretically, a girl who lives forever, a girl who's got the cat ears, they're kind of cute in the tail, or well, also another girl that lives forever, but she can suck your blood. Probably a little bit more kinky too. I'm just saying. Like, so you got like innocent, animal, kinky. I think that's the three options. I think that's the breakdown right here. Amber is definitely a vampire, by the way. I'll agree with that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the elf.
Okay.
Buddy the elf. You know.
I think that's a good. I think it's a solid one.
I'm gonna go with the cat simply because long-term planning. I don't need to get tired of that. I don't need too long of a warranty.
You've already got the kibble.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, it's like, you know, it's like, after a while, the vampire and the elf, that might start to get a little bit up there. It's like, okay, if we have a Johnny and Amber relationship, let's say over time, could you imagine the hell?
My God,
the cat might be more independent now that you mention it, Eric. So,
which is cool too. You know, if we come in and they really want you, or they don't want you, and if you can time it out. Plus, the cats clean up after themselves.
That's true. That's true. You're making a lot of fair points about the cat. The shedding is the one thing I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
The shedding is I'm not a fan of. The shedding I'm definitely not a fan of.
Well, yeah, I definitely no. You just said cat ears. We're not talking an entire coat here.
Well,
because I'm not into the furry
like got a tail, like a tail. Yeah, no, go full. Never go full furry. I was discussing this with Drex the other day. That makes it all worse when you go full furry.
Wait. What's the difference between full furry and like what partially furry, like half furry? Like how are we defining that?
There's a spectrum. Okay, let me go here. But there's definitely a spectrum. So like obviously, okay, you've seen the girls on Twitch with the cat ear headphones. That's on like the lightest. That's on the lowest version of it, right? Then there's there's just the ears and maybe the tail, right? Just the ears, the tail. Then there's the ears, the tail, and furry paws.
Okay, now we're getting out of here. I mean, the basic cosplay is all right. Okay.
Yeah,
it's a little bit crazy and possibly some fun, but
and then there's Cats the musical.
Ugh.
Yeah. like Andy, are you okay with Cats the musical level?
Well, to be fair, I did see as a joke, a buddy of mine, we went to go see the Cats movie, like I think it was like 2 years ago out in the theaters before the pandemic happened, just to see what we were like, okay, this is gonna be. We anticipated it to be like so horrible that would be hilarious, and what it just turned into is like we start laughing in the theater at some of the ridiculousness, and then like no one else is laughing, so like everyone there is there legitimately to try to enjoy the film, and it just became like uncomfortable because we just started getting looks and we're like, okay, like this is a horrific mistake, you know, coming in here watching this movie, but yeah, good content to make fun of. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, okay, that's the furry chart here. So yeah, exactly. It's a spectrum. It's a spectrum, right?
Okay.
There's like human, and then this is I think with the line. It's like, okay, you got the little cute tail, still female body, and the little ears, you know. Then you go over into furry territory. Furry territory, right?
Right. Yeah. I assume that the tail on the left is removable.
Yeah. But like this is where the furries live, right in here. They're really dominant here. This is a little bit too human for them, but here's where they're at. So yes, now you guys know. Okay. Oh, by the way, Zippy says, Andrew, if you look for an art piece for your background, let me know and I can make something for you. And just ask Eric. Yeah, Ziggy. Email me, Andrew Esquire Live at gmail.com.
Andrew.
That looks really good, man. I'm in Korea though, so shipping is gonna be interesting.
And then I don't know if you can see it over here, but America's Untold Stories.
Cool.
And then the first one she did is actually up there. It's the transom window. So she not only does, she does like all different kinds of
oh wow.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. I'll shoot me an email and I will get back to you because I'm actually going to be in the US for a little bit. So maybe if something was done, I'll
make it small enough, Ziggy, you can put it in a suitcase.
Exactly. That would be really good because I'm bringing a lot of stuff back. Jameson,
so are you going to be there permanently or what?
No, I'm just coming back to visit my family for
No,
a week.
Korea.
And,
You're there
oh
long
well,
term.
until they kick me out. I mean, for the at least for the short term, for the next like year at least minimum. So I mean, one thing I've been trying to do, which I haven't gotten to do because of freaking Rona, is do more traveling around here. So that's something I'm going to be doing a lot more this next time. I started doing some vlogs, but I'll be doing continually. But I'm also going to do more when I'm traveling. Hey, here's me going around doing that, because normally during a regular year, I'm a very avid traveler. I probably travel internationally like 3 or 4 times a year, but it's just been something that's been stopped because of Corona and because of ridiculous rules, which thankfully we're seeing lifted in most sane countries. Although I don't know if you guys caught this, but Biden just extended the mask requirement on airplanes. Eric, you rolled your eyes. Why do you say? Why of course though? Why of course? I mean, at this point, isn't public sentiment against most restrictions? I mean, even over here in Korea, people now, which were scared, have changed.
I'm saying,
their
of
mind
course,
about
because it matches the pattern of behavior. I mean, let's see, how are fuel prices going? Not well. So are we going to open the pipeline? No. Maybe we'll shut down more.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever makes sense, he'll do the opposite.
It's just, and it's also kind of matching their expectations for what's probably going to happen in November. It's probably another way to explain that too.
What do you mean by that, Andy?
Well, just again, like the changing of the Supreme Court, right? For example, switching out a judge. That's an anticipation for what they think is going to happen in November, and I think
they think they're going to take it. So you think they're already thinking they're going to take an L in November?
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody is saying that, and it's looking like a landslide. Period. All around. So yeah, they're getting every pound of flesh they can.
Yeah.
Every single thing they can through, which is good in a way, because
but just doing that extra 2 weeks, I mean, what does that really accomplish other than pissing people off? Because at this point,
I mean, I guess in the bigger scheme of things, that's not really all that big compared to like a Supreme Court justice. Unless there's something that's being omitted, which I wouldn't be surprised. But again, like it's in the bigger scheme of things, I tend to be like, like he's probably just, I don't know, just listen to Fauci or something. Fauci says do this.
He's also old. He's old as hell, and old people are scared.
He is old. He's very old.
Yeah.
And Barnes has pointed that out a lot, and it's very true. Like in the courtrooms, why is it they're always going to side on the side of the mask and all that? Because most of the judges are old and in the most vulnerable, tangent. So who are they looking out for? Themselves.
Exactly. They're it's self-interest. There's like, well, I'm high risk, so we're doing this. It's only in rare circumstances where they're not. This is an easy question though. Rihanna says Jameson or Ciroc. I think for me this is easy, but Eric,
I don't even know what the second one is.
Ciroc is the let me pull it up.
And probably hate them both.
It's a premium vodka. It's a premium French vodka. It's often promoted by rappers or other folks. I think
Puff Daddy, Sean Combs,
Puff Daddy,
P. Diddy.
LeBron also a rep for Ciroc? I'm not sure.
No,
I would say neither.
Maybe Andy Garcia.
There you go. Raging bitch. That's my answer.
I would say Jameson.
Jameson, yeah, I would definitely say Jameson. I hear if I go into a bar, a lot of times for like the medium end bars, they'll just have like Johnny or Jack and Jameson, and I'll do like a Jameson ginger or something like that if I'm trying to chill and relax.
We like Bullet. My wife likes Bullet, I think.
Bullet, the upscale bars actually have here, and that's my go-to because Bullet is a good stable whiskey.
Or Knob Creek.
They don't have Knob as often, but it is good. I like Knob Creek.
Okay.
Have you? Do you know what happens at Knob Creek?
No.
Stays at Knob Creek? What?
No. You know what they have at Knob Creek? No joke. Okay, they have like one hell of a shooting range. And what they have there is they have like fully automatic weapons. You can even take like a Huey from Vietnam and shoot from like a what they call it. Yeah, what are the machine guns?
From a side gunner?
You
not
can
M60.
I think M60. Yeah, you can shoot for M60 from the side of the helicopter from the Huey. You can utilize a flamethrower. It's pretty. They have almost everything you can think about conceivably over at Knob Creek. I had a buddy when I was in the Army who was like, "Oh man, I want to go to Knob Creek," because he was an armor officer. I'm totally going, taking this conversation another direction. But
but I'm thinking about boozing up and then going out. I mean, what could go wrong?
Well,
can
there's
you smoke
no
weed?
possible problems with
No, they
this,
have a
and
whole government.
Yeah.
They have a whole department of the government for it, ATF, on one location.
Yeah, basically.
No stop shop. There you go. So yeah, here's the Ciroc with P Diddy. So you got that. That's the
Yeah,
the
that would turn
permanent
me off.
association there. Yeah, you're not a
Sorry.
P Diddy fan. You're not a P Diddy fan,
No.
Eric.
No.
Okay.
You know, he's a business guy. I respect that side of him personally.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's just me
fine,
personally.
but
Yeah.
don't have to be a fan.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Ko says, Herd is definitely a cat girl. Cats are known to poop in your bed if you piss them off.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
Woof.
Do you have any pets, Andy?
Not
children.
currently. No. I get the kids, of course, and it's just I had a dog before, and then before that, growing up, we had cats. So I'm a lover of animals of sorts, depending on what's going on in my life.
How many stray cats did Alita bring home as a child? Like, how many ones did she pick up off the street and just bring back home? I really want to know the dirt here.
Because I'm in on this. It's probably more so me and my brother Conrad, but like we brought home 2 because there was a litter that just this mom gave birth to these kittens at my grandma's house and just adopted them off the street basically because there they were. So cute. We got them all cleaned up and stuff like that, and were with us for the longest time. Actually, no, 3 cats we ultimately got. But yeah, so 3 cats total. That's it. That's my final answer.
That's not that bad. That's not
no crazy cat status.
Level.
No crazy cat status in this family. No.
You're not the cat daddy.
No, I will never be the cat daddy.
I will say anytime I see a guy who's got like more like a couple of cats or even one cat, like I don't know, like there's something about guys with cats. I think of that show.
Jack, I have 2.
What?
I have 2. Go ahead, keep talking.
No. I just think of that guy. Have you seen the like? Okay, you've seen like Caesar Milan, right? Dog Whisperer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the Cat Whisperer guy?
No.
There's a cat whisperer. That sounds
weird.
weird.
It's like Jackson Galaxy or something like that. Like literally, that's his name. And he's the weirdest dude.
He's got to be super effete or something, right?
He's so effete. He's incredibly effete. And
wow.
But he's the cat guy. He's like, you're really just a guardian. You're a cat guardian. He's kind of the opposite of Caesar Milan. Like Caesar Milan has like more machismo.
Yeah. No. He's a weird cat representative. No, I do like cats actually, genuinely, and had them before my wife KM. But what I like about cats is I can leave all day. They take care of themselves. They use a litter box. And another factor is like with a dog, you expect love. With cats, you earn it. Because they're literally going to take you or leave you, and if you get along with them, then that's on you.
Yeah,
but I love that. Even petting them, you only have to pet them for a little bit, and then they get tired of it. So it's great because I'm lazy. I'm not only get pet so long. Give me a break.
Feel like get the fuck out of here. I'm done.
Yeah, it's a transactional
with
relationship. You got food? Yum, good. All right. No, piss off. No.
Speaking of transactional relationships, I don't know if you guys have seen all of this stuff right here.
Saw that one.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this one,
Oh my God.
Oh God.
So what do you guys think? I mean, about this situation? This is one that came up last night, and I didn't have it originally on the thumbnail, but I'm like, this is something I've got to talk about with these guys because.
For sure.
This one, there's so much to this. Like number one, there's the him getting on the board. There's him coming off of the board and then making the offer.
He never got on the board. They offered it to him, and he said no when he was supposed to report. So
he made an offer, right? Twitter made an offer of a board seat to him,
right? With this little dangling thing of but no more than 14.9%.
Yep.
As well as no more talking about what's happening inside the company.
Exactly, because anything you say as a board member could cause problems. It's just like it wasn't a bad maneuver on Twitter's part to find a way. How do you hem the son of a bitch in who we can't stand? Because that's literally what that was.
Who's literally ripping the carpet out from under them this whole time. So it's I think my favorite part about all this is the fact that he I was thinking about this because I heard some complaints from extended parts of my family about what was going on, and what I couldn't help but remember was the fact that, you know, Elon has this really strong reputation of kind of getting in these social conversations and like holding people accountable. And that one of the best examples I thought of was last year, the battle of GameStop, if you will, with Wall
Oh
Street
yes,
bets.
the Battle of GameStop. Yes.
Yes,
Was it?
and so what my favorite part about that is the fact that he even went on the Clubhouse and brought the CEO of Robinhood,
Mhm.
and he like just kind of basically put him on the spot. I mean, and to his credit, he could have just been like totally aggressive. He could have been a jerk about it, but he was very congenial and just say, "Hey, man, what's going on? You know, what's happening with all these trades happening on Robinhood?
Mhm.
Why are you freezing? How come people can't buy
What
GameStop?
do you
How
call
come?
it?
How,
Stonks? He called them stonks or something.
yeah,
I
Stonks.
forget.
yeah,
That's the meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, especially Doge. So
Oh, but
Yes.
by the way, that's what was he said? Doge. In the interview today, why he got into Doge, he said, "I like dogs and I like memes."
Yeah.
So there's an aspect of him that's very. I mean, I
it
guess
says everything
base,
you
I
need
don't
to
know.
know about him. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have money. I love memes. I love dogs.
But do you
I love
do you
it.
think that well, if also, you know, Twitter called an all hands meeting, and then I think he made
Oh
the
yeah, they're
statement.
talking poison
Elon,
pill.
yeah, they're talking poison pill, and they're also, you know, Elon made it clear that what his intention is to buy it out and make it private, because they're going to have to go private. They're going to have to pretty much sweep clean house.
He did in the interview today talk about it more if you're interested though. He said that he was trying to bring as many shareholders with him as he could.
Did he? Okay.
But I mean, some of that's just investment. Like if he doesn't have to pay
Yeah.
45 billion and he can slide in with 28 billion, I'm sure that he'll happily get some there. But he said he wanted to have like 1,000 shareholders or something if possible, and you can have X number in a private company. So he made that clear.
Okay. Yeah.
They were pressing him super hard on his free speech angle, shockingly. And of course, and yes, people are pointing out that he does put money in China. This is the weird problem. Elon is not a saint. Like Barnes
He's
released,
not perfect. He's
oh
not
no,
perfect.
no, no, no. There's a real darkness there. And Barnes like did a whole hush hush on vivabarneslaw.com, just essentially laying out this is who Elon is. And he does have some cult leaderish aspects to him in some ways. But compared to the status quo, I will take him as long as he's into free speech. It's sort of like the analogy, Adam Carolla has always said this, like somebody donates an emergency room to a hospital and they want their name on the door. And you'll have people saying, well, they just want their name on the door because they're vain. And
Who
the reality
cares?
is it's like, okay, fair trade. Thank you
Who
for the
cares?
emergency room. So that's, you know, if
Yeah.
he's doing all this because he wants his words to be free and everything else, I don't care. If we all benefit, I'm all for it.
Right. Right. There's never going to be a perfect white knight who's going to come out here and do it in a way that you're going to approve of based on your, you know, subjective morality. We can just look at the outcome. Like the outcome is Twitter will have freer speech. It will stop censoring people. You know who will be back on Twitter. The big T will be back. That'll be great for the stock price. The stock price will boom.
Well, and he's
on
talking
that
about other
alone.
things too. Like I love his idea of they want to do like the Twitter Blue or whatever, where you pay $5, $3 a month or whatever. He's like, why don't you use that and then you get the verification for that?
Yep.
Because their whole verification thing is bullshit. It's nothing more than a popularity contest that they hold over people's head. Well, yeah, but they're saying it's not that. They're saying it's verifying it's really you, so you're not impersonating. It's like, well, then why did you take it away from Milo Yiannopoulos? Because it really is him. So you want to verify it's really him saying the bad things you don't want. So obviously everything you're saying is a lie, that is a, you know, literally a clout maker. So I don't know. I think that would be a good thing. I also like the idea of the influence it'll have on other social companies. His offering to buy the companies, pointing out the hypocrisy everywhere too, because now the left is saying, I can't believe this. The idea of a billionaire owning Twitter, you know, the humanity. And the fact is, it's like, where were you when Jeff Bezos bought Washington Post? They're geniuses. And you know what? All the people who are running Twitter, the freaking current CEO is like worth a few $1 billion. Well, why don't you trash him? What about Zuckerberg? And Elon pointed that out, that he has his lineup set up to where Facebook will and Instagram will be controlled, and WhatsApp and the other for 14 generations of Zuckers. He said literally 14 Zuckers.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is weird. And then, Rihanna points out, don't forget Elon pouring millions into the CCP.
Yes.
And on top of that, guys,
Yeah.
that's what we're reminded by the Amber Heard trial. Remember, he's partially behind this because remember, he was dating Amber Heard at the time.
Married.
Side.
Married.
She was a side chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, side chick.
Married to her.
Side chick. Yeah, side chick. And was offering full security, was backing up her claims, was simping so hard it was painful. So Elon is not this guy who's a saint. He's not a person who, I've heard Eric, this is the funniest stories. I've heard girls that went to UC Berkeley and West Coast schools, all these schools, they say that they would go to guys like they were dating, they would go over to their like dorm rooms or their apartments, and they would have posters of Elon like inevitably all over their dorm rooms. And look, respecting the guy is one thing, but having posters of Elon, like, especially if you've got
He's
it
the new
like
Steve
above
Jobs,
your bed.
dude. He's the new Steve Jobs. Honestly, when Steve Jobs died, Elon Musk was the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that happen in real time.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see what these people have going on in their life because their respective lives, just because it's like evangelizing someone that that shares this planet with you, to me is I find that very strange. And I feel like people who have this void that they need to fill will fill in like really weird ways like that. They'll deify them. Some woman will deify Kim Kardashian, right? Which I don't understand. I don't see it. Sorry. She's beautiful. I get it.
Well, at least there's a void there to fill. Oh, sorry.
Whoop, there it is.
Oh, God damn it, Eric.
Yeah.
God damn it. And there goes monetization. No, I'm joking. This channel is automatic.
Well, Andrew, I did dress for that.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Eric. And guys, by the way, if you want to see some real demonetized fun, go check out Laid Back News. Make sure you're subscribed to Laid Back News. Also, make sure you're subscribed to Andy the Gamemaker. And guys, there's 200 and almost 70 of you in the chat. So smash that like button. It helps us in the algorithm. And just don't smash it like Elon smashed Amber Heard, because obviously that's not for
oh my goodness. Or I would have said the way the Cybertruck's window was smashed in the demo, but that's just me.
Boy. Oh boy. Although somebody said, this is a quick question though, I was talking about yesterday. Do you think Elon feels the same way about Grimes that he felt about Amber Heard? Do you think it's the same sort of relationship with those two different ladies?
I don't think he really cares much other than they're warm, available, and entertaining for a little while. I mean, he has admitted Asperger's. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad gig on their part because I don't think he probably sees them more than an hour or two a week. They're probably pretty much on call for whatever. And I mean, the dude works constantly. He's made a point of it. He's always everywhere and doing everything. So I see him checking them out, like, from the library.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. An interesting setup. That's all I'm going to say. An interesting setup. So the next thing I want to talk about with you guys, since, we see that Twitter, by the way, well, just to conclude that though, one thing, do you think if Elon does take over though, it would really result in Twitter taking off again? That's the one last thing I want to say. Do you think it would?
I think so.
If he brings on the big T, as you called him, that would immediately,
that's the thing.
That would send the smoke signal across the board, Big T, Berenson, and, if all of a sudden all these people, I don't know if you go as far as Alex Jones and, or AJ or,
but that's the question. Like, could he could, I wish he theoretically.
I wish he would. You can block people on Twitter. It's bullshit. And you can even have block lists. So bring it all back, because there was a time that it was a playground for speech.
Because I think what the problem with all these social media platforms, and I realized this when I was listening to the interview with John Ottman, as well as, I think it's Bill Ottman, John Ottman's the composer, Bill Ottman and Daryl Davis on Joe Rogan's podcast talking about the Minds platform. And one of the things that they mentioned is that with respect to their platform, the way it's designed to de-radicalize people and in their respective ways versus, Facebook's, Twitter, what have you. The way they're designed is they create these serious echo chambers. And once you start eliminating voices from that altogether, that's when you seriously create problems, which is why there's actually a paper out there that someone did. This Air Force colonel did this study about a decade ago on the radicalization in the Middle East with respect to social media, and the effects that it had on that. And so, sure enough, that's what's happening here in the U.S. within our own population, which I think is the most unfortunate thing. And I think being a dad with with kids, right? I'm gonna definitely encourage my kids to stay off social media as long as possible, because I really don't see the value in it.
I mean, there's great
long-term.
value. There's great value for children, Andy, including tweets like this right here. Imagine
Oh,
a
boy.
sexually liberated world. Imagine how much easier everything would be. Minors and MAPS could explore their sexuality without shame, guilt, or fear. When minors would grow up, they would be more empathetic and less narcissistic. Yeah.
Everything is headed
That's my
to
nightmare.
that. Well, I mean, it
That-
really is.
for
By
children.
the way,
Yeah.
to pile on or go with Andy's note, a good example of that is TikTok.
Mm.
Did you know that in China? Okay, think about when I say TikTok, you're going because you're thinking libs of TikTok, also banned from Twitter. But
Well, Chinese
least it's
TikTok is
been-
different than
yes,
American
because guess
TikTok.
what they do? Instead of shaking asses and everything else on the front,
Mhm.
in China, it's kids that are launching rocket ships
Mm-hmm.
and building robots and
Mhm.
stuff like that. It's
I've heard that.
really subtle but brilliant. It's an
Mhm.
example of how they're using the same mind control, helping push and dump poison on our minds. By the way, this is only one leg, because you realize what a problem we have with, my brain just died on me, fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Did you know that all the cartels are bringing in fentanyl like crazy to us? Now, here's
Probably.
the weird part, though.
They're running out of
Is it-
options.
Well, look, it doesn't make business sense. I mean, if people buy Valium on the street, my co-host Mark on America's Untold Stories is a drug counselor,
Right.
and he's talking about how people won't get pharmaceuticals unless you can prove the bottle, because they're literally shaping the pills into whatever it is, like oxy or whatever, and it is fentanyl, and people are dying. Now, it's crazy because you're like, why the hell would the cartel want to ship in something that's going to kill their customer? Bad business. The problem is, who is the actual customer? Sort of like with Google, you're the product and the advertiser is the customer, and the cartels, we're the product and China is the customer. Think of it. We have a generation of getting our minds ripped out with TikTok and our bodies and souls ripped out through drugs.
Yep.
Very powerful stuff. If you think about your military, think of the damage and the psychological operations and everything, putting that together, what that does to our soul.
Right. Oh, totally.
Meanwhile, in China, right, which is a very good segue, because I wanted to cover this with you guys. Meanwhile, in China, if you're caught with drugs or, for example, guns, right, you can be executed, just straight up executed for
like Singapore.
Bringing that out. Like, yeah, not even a joke. But right here, I don't know if you guys have been watching how they've been covering COVID, in the zero COVID. Have you guys seen these robot dogs?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's some Black Mirror shit right there.
That is.
Like,
that's very horrifying. I'm not gonna lie.
And drones that fly up to you when they spot you outside. I mean, that's like another level here. That's like a crazy...
Well, Australia's bought into that. They have their apps that you've got to log in and show where you are at all times. How far are they from a drone? I mean, and Canada's right behind them. And then we have dumbasses in our leadership who want to follow right along that line. Everybody trained by Klaus Schwab on how to do a new world order.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, look, it's a ghost town, but look, the Earth is going to be happy about it. They're going to be happy that nobody is in, Shanghai. Look, it's all empty. It's cool. One car on the street. Isn't that great? Well, what you're not seeing is the suicides. What you're not seeing is people jumping off of these buildings, people whose pets are being taken away because they're running out of pet food and, they're having to end the pets. You're not seeing any of that. And you're also not seeing people, who are fighting over, groceries, just like basic groceries in the grocery store. I mean, that's what happens in these scenarios. So, it's really crazy. And that's close to what, like you said, they were advocating for in Australia. And frankly, if we didn't have a constitution, I think there's some people in the United States that would have 100% pushed for that. I think Gavin
we have
Newsom,
guns. They don't have guns in Australia. It makes a big difference. Same thing with Canada.
Eric, I had this conversation. And by the way, sorry, let me catch a super chat. Kendra said the crossover I didn't know I needed today.
Oh,
yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Kendra. Thank you.
So let me just talk about that real quick. Do you think, because I had somebody in Korea and they tried to get in a debate with me, and I said, Australia, a lot of this shit went down because they don't have guns.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, you guys aren't going to do anything in America. It's like, look at everything happen over there. You guys didn't do anything. And I'm like, fair point that most people aren't going to do anything. I think most people wouldn't, but I think there are lines that are crossed in America, and we just haven't crossed them. I'm like, we don't want to cross them.
You could
That's
use
already proven because
but you could use it. Here's an example you could use. I mean, look at what happened to George Floyd, where they raided the precinct in Minneapolis. I mean, that's a good example of that. People just like not taking it.
But it was supported by the media, by the elites.
True.
They were supporting that.
That's true, but we still have the tendency, we still have the ability to do that, regardless of who's encouraging it and what have you. That still exists.
I'll give you another example. COVID mandates on truckers. That was going to happen here, but it didn't.
The corporate press, yeah.
It did happen in Canada.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that all the truck drive, but there's enough sense to know that there's the American spirit, and that convoy in Canada definitely would have happened down here if the mandates went down. And it would have been potentially even worse because you get a couple of them who might go a little bit off. There are certain levels where we have police who, all your friends in Korea who are talking to you, they're thinking big scale. No.
Like revolution scale.
Right. People don't have a gun at their house and they're not going to fight off the army. But I will tell you, there's neighborhoods that the cops won't go in.
Yep.
That's
will not go in. So that's telling you right there that this neighborhood is so dangerous to the cops that they're not going to go there. That is a form of anarchy or government. I hate to say it, but it's true. And it shows that. And also, do you know who wanted weapons more than anybody else? Who started a lot of this trend and the gun control people were fighting against?
Who?
Black Panthers. The Black Panthers all the way back in the 60s, because they're saying, hey, we're here in these urban areas. Your stupid cops aren't going to take care of us, and you probably wind up beating us anyway. And I'm not talking about now, folks. I'm not talking about now, but things weren't always a good time for them, okay? I promise it's true. Right. Especially in certain areas with Jim Crow laws. They wanted weapons to protect their own communities. So we've got to stop thinking the whole like, oh, we're going to have a revolution of the government. It's like, no, you're going to have a revolution against bad cops in your town. If you have a corrupt captain in a precinct and all the neighborhood is armed, you're going to stop those cops.
Well,
so think about it on that level.
If there's crime in the neighborhood, you're like, I want to be able to protect myself, because your response time is not going to be great. You're not going to prioritize this, this area. You're not going to prioritize this type of call. You're going to kind of let it burn. You're like, it's just the hood. Like, I'm not going to respond to this. So if you're able to handle that yourself or able to protect yourself, I mean, that just adds to the safety of you, your family, your people, right?
Well, just the presence is going to run them away. Just the knowledge that 3 people I know robbed somebody and they got shot when they broke in the house. Well, guess what? Probably not going to break into that line of houses. I mean, one of the safest things you could possibly do is have a freaking Confederate flag. That's the truth. And it is the Confederate battle flag. I know the difference between the flags, but it's the very famous Confederate battle flag. Put that out of the house with the "Don't tread on me." And I have a dog or a gun, and I guarantee a lot of people will stay the hell away.
Stay the hell off your property. Yeah.
Did you guys know that there's a town in Georgia where you are required by
mandatory?
You are required by law to be a gun owner.
Yeah. Really?
It's Kennesaw, Georgia.
I want to say Marietta, but
Kennesaw, Georgia.
Okay, no, I knew
Kennesaw, next door.
From Kennesaw.
Yep. Every homeowner is required to have a gun, if I remember the law exactly. Which
that's interesting. I wonder how they are implementing that. Like, the only way maybe is through like a restrictive covenant, but like that's very, very interesting.
What they should do next is remove stop signs and traffic lights, and then
no,
it's already been proven. They've done the experiments. Because if everybody's responsible for paying attention when they cross the street one way or another, it does drive it way the hell down.
Accidents drop.
That's okay. I think I would agree with that. My goodness, Eric, you're sounding more and more like an anarchist every single time I talk to you.
I'm a lazy libertarian.
Lazy libertarian. I like that because
Sure.
there's a line, and I've had this debate. I have a friend who came over here to Korea, and he's an anarchist, and it's like, at what point does anarchy become libertarianism? There's like a little bit of a gray area, right? Like if you're entering into a voluntary association to like pave the roads, at what point is that a government? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the point is, okay, I guess if you can, the anarchist says, well, if you can voluntarily remove yourself.
I think if there's no the way I see it, like anarchism, it's like there's no gun to your head, so to speak, is one way to look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can choose not to use that road, right, altogether.
But then there's gonna be a group of people that are telling you can't use the road anymore, right? Because if you're withdrawing from it, then.
But wouldn't you be like, if you're withdrawing yourself from being able to use that road again, right?
Yeah.
I think that's something that you're assuming is a possibility. That's an
Yeah.
outcome
You're also
ready to take.
It's not you using the road, and people forget that, because I do think we need to fund the roads, and that's a good example of government. Do I care about the road you live on or the boulevard? Well, no, I don't drive it, but you know what? I might receive a package, and the damn package is going to come over that. Or somebody's going to develop a product and they're using those roads to transport things back and forth that are going to be necessary. So there's a point where we have to think about it. Another one would be an environmental situation. Like, I don't want you dumping your poison shit in my well. Yeah, right. But that's now a problem. So
we're into the aquifer, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my question to you, Eric. If the government made clothes, right? If the government made clothes and they stopped making clothes, would you stop wearing clothes?
Maybe.
Oh, it is.
You can make your own clothes, but you can. But Andy, you can make your own clothes. You can make your own clothes. I mean,
Yeah, but that's I don't know.
I don't think that's not a good analogy anyway.
No. But I think the thing is that we pretend like we have to have very specific resources, managed by the government. I don't know. I think we lack this mindset or this creativity, so to speak, where we have other options, where we could possibly come up with other options.
Oh, I agree with that, but I'm saying there are certain points where it's absolutely a collective, and nobody is going to fund for anybody else. So you've got to throw it all in together. Yes, because if it's a matter of building a road, I would say I want my road. I'm going to fund it from my house to my store or work or whatever it is.
Whenever you see, like, for example, whenever you see like, let's say a some sort of side street or off road that's maybe got 3 houses on it, you'll see a driveway paved, right? The driveway's paved, and then the pavement stops, and then it's gravel, right? I'm sure you've seen that, and there's a point. There's a reason for that. Because
that's Orange County. You are describing the freeway from Orange County to Los Angeles. That is literally what happens when you're on the 5 freeway. You just drive. Once you hit that county line, it's like, am I in the mountains? Like, is this Afghanistan? Like, where am I going? And then it goes from like 5 lanes to like 2 or 3. It's just like, I mean, granted. They are dumping more money in the freeways, but my goodness, they're still horrifically behind. Traffic is,
whether it's a government or whether it's a person, no one wants to pay for even a little bit more than they are absolutely required by law to pay for. And that's why I think that's one of the ones that's a little bit more sticky. But to be fair, I think both libertarians and anarchists were both on the side of, okay, what we got now is definitely not okay. Let's take what we have now and scale it way the fuck back.
Just go to the Constitution. Why don't we just go back to the Constitution and and then start from there? That's a good point. And then
I'm okay with
that. Then I'm all for it, Andy, that we have to fight for every single thing. So my little roads principle, I have to go in and fight you about it, and then we hash it out. And that would be awesome, because you know what we have? Who's supposed to be doing that? There's this group. We elect them every 2 years or 6 years, and the ones that get elected every 2 years are supposed to write these laws, but somehow they're not. They're just going to visiting hair salons and things. So that's part of our problem too. They have completely abdicated their responsibility and become professional politicians at the same time. Yes. So they go in there permanently, and they hand over all their power to the administration and create departments because they don't want to do any work.
And
you guys, I'm sorry. I found something really interesting last night. It kind of ties into this, the corruption.
Can you share it? Do you want to share a screen here? You got it?
I don't know if I can share it, but it's an app. I'm not sure this app. It's interesting. I'm not sure if this app is actually legit, like how legit it is. But someone created an app where you can see how all these politicians are trading, like what's in their portfolios. Apparently, that's publicly
Yes.
declared. So they
Yes, it is.
consolidated
It has
all
to be.
this.
By the way, they're outperforming the stock market.
Yes.
Weird that they're
Yes.
doing
Yes.
outperforming the stock market. It's so
I know.
odd, right?
You know what? It says, Andy, Andrew, it's proof. It shows that we are actually electing smart people. Didn't you know
Yeah.
that? They're so intuitive
Geniuses.
and smart that they know exactly.
Of course, but
you
of
know,
course,
they are our leaders. It's natural.
Yes.
It's completely natural.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Good God.
Yes.
Yep. Those who
Absolutely
need
true.
leaders are not qualified to pick them.
I agree with that one. Rihanna says this is something I did think about when we were talking about China. And by the way, the politicians have all, been in the bank with China or in the bed with China. Saying this is the opium war, except it's on the US. Guys, don't forget that all the Chinese leaders, they remember what's called in China the century of embarrassment, which is when the US and foreign colonial powers,
Hong
Britain,
Kong.
France, had huge influence over China, all sorts of aspects of China, essentially carving it up into spheres of influence. And we're extremely salty about that. So they teach that like it was yesterday. It's something they do not forget. So I mean,
while we're on that and opium, dude, you want to go dark?
Let's go dark. Let's do it, baby.
All right. Have you heard about what they did in Vietnam?
No, tell me what they did in Vietnam, because
okay. Well, first thing I want to say is you have two opium lanes, right? You have the Golden Triangle and the Golden Crescent.
Yes.
You know what the Golden Crescent is?
Crescent.
That's Afghanistan. So the poppy fields in the world are all in the Golden Triangle or Afghanistan. So now, while we're out there in Vietnam, what we're coming back, we're sending back a lot of bodies, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not efficient. Do you know what's in the bodies?
Opium?
Yes. I'm not kidding. This is a proven fact. I've had Michael Levine on, who is a DEA agent who busted it all out. Now, why this is so important is because heroin poppy is running so deep into Vietnam and everything that was going on there in China and controlling all that. Then we go ahead and fast forward 30 years. And what do we have? The other end of the opium trade, Afghanistan. Look how long we were there. Look how much CIA involvement. Now, okay, so you're like, well, Eric, that doesn't make any sense. Well, what did they do in between? If it was opium there and opium there, you got a few years. You had a break. Have you heard of Iran-Contra? Have you heard of cocaine?
Yeah.
Have you heard of the crack wars?
Yeah.
So there is so much in this, and it is extremely dark. If you think about how we have manipulated everything through drugs and the markets. And America's Untold Stories, folks, by the way, if you want to see some.
No, I love it. And the thing
is,
Eric, but I love learning from you guys about that, because these are the things that are so interesting. And the more I learn about them, and whether I'm watching your channel or I'm just reading something else, and I'm like, oh shit, we actually did that. Like I was reading something the other day on the Suez crisis, and how Britain and France really engineered this, but they fucked up and didn't think about it.
Oh, the map makers? Everything going on in the Middle East is the map makers, which goes back to Churchill, by the way. Yeah, it's World War I time frame. Literally, they said, okay, there's a mountain there. Go ahead, and that's good border. And the river, that's good border.
Yep.
And that's how they split up Iraq, because Iranians, they call themselves Persians. The people who are there, and
I had a Persian girlfriend. She would always make that correction. It's like, oh, not Iranian, I'm Persian. It's like, okay,
that
buddy.
is, and not to mention that's another great segue to kind of tie in Woodrow Wilson, arguably the worst president in the history of the U.S. My goodness, I don't know.
LBJ gives him some competition, dude.
I don't know.
No. I got a series on him.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. But
and Woodrow didn't kill his predecessor.
Oh shit! Shots fired by Eric.
I've got a 2-part series on that. Go check out America's Untold Stories.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm not kidding. We back it up. It's not. We don't just throw it out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my point being though, with Wilson though, he's one of the most Machiavellian leaders that we've ever seen, especially in the modern era. And I mean, just the thing that he's done. My goodness, because again, Federal Reserve. Woodrow Wilson,
income tax,
income bringing it back, because it was a Lincoln thing, and then they got rid of it, they quashed it, and then they brought it back.
even
Yeah.
better, he's coming out of the Prussian style of education.
Wilson
Yes, remember, he was a professor,
at Princeton.
and he came from that, and that's what taught us the assembly line, the 40-hour work week, the break times, and in classrooms
Oh, I'm
go
not
by a
surprised.
clock every hour. That all no, that's all of that, and that is some serious mind control, population control.
That is
I'm
really
just saying
fucked us up.
that's all tied into Wilson too. I didn't know if you knew that part of it.
No, I didn't know that part, but I know.
I knew about the Prussian education part. That's
Oh yeah, and
like,
a major racist. Loved racist movies.
Oh, and he loved the Klansmen too. My goodness, that guy had like almost a love affair with those guys. It's pretty. That's
Well,
all.
he
Another,
DB. I forget the first. Birth of a Nation was first shown at the
Birth of
White
a
House.
Nation.
Yep.
Yeah, Birth of a Nation. Yeah, one of the most popular, still one of the most popular movies of all time in terms of like if you inflate it, like current dollars.
Well, yeah, because it's also influential too. You know.
Well, it was a brilliant movie. This is the hard part. It's like I go
like if you've seen it,
yes,
for the time, it was well shot and well placed.
No, for all time. Here's an example. Just because something is monstrous doesn't mean it wasn't brilliant.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Like,
exactly.
Take 9/11. Okay.
Triumph of the Will. If you've watched that it's like Leni Riefenstahl. Like it's actually shot
like the Hitler propaganda. Oh yeah, where they raise the cameras on a crane like really high up. You see like all the soldiers. Yeah, no, that's
cinematographically it is a thing. You know.
No, we actually watched that in the film class I took at West Point.
I did too.
Yeah, so pretty crazy. So because that stuff is compelling. That's why, because people see that and they're like, oh my goodness, wow. And that's right. the point is that this stuff is really influential, which is also why Wilson, another reason why I don't like him, is his buddy Edward Bernays. So that guy, oh my goodness.
So got it. So, it's like, okay, beef with Johnson, beef with Wilson, got it. Least favorite president.
Well, and by the way, major beef with CIA. And we're talking about brilliant movies. Animal Farm, the rights were bought from Orwell's widow by the CIA. The CIA actually made the animation film Animal Farm. It's the most expensive animation film ever made to that time. It is a brilliant film. It was made in, animation houses in England. Look it up. I'm just saying.
Check that out.
It's a good film, though. I mean,
it is a brilliantly done film, but is 100% propaganda, quite literally paid for.
Yeah.
And transparently by the CIA. That's the funny part. Like the CIA, Kermit Roosevelt brought the money in to overtake the Shah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that's a funny. Yeah, that's a funny thing, Eric. You bring up a really interesting point, and there's that people think that this is like tinfoil hat stuff. No. There are receipts to all this stuff. This is stuff that people agree
church committee
actually happened. Yeah, even like the Banana Republic stuff with Edward Bernays and the CIA. It's like, we definitely did that. That was us.
Yeah,
here's how it happened.
But we're in a fun part of history. We're starting to admit and like unclassify the documents from those eras. So we can go back
not
and
even that. A lot of it was out. A lot of this is New York Times.
Right, was out,
which is mind blowing. No, you're like MK Ultra, which is the ultimate tin hat thing, right? Except the church committee went into it. It was headlines. These are new front page articles. New York Times, everybody else of the time. There's a book called War is Hell. Another guy we covered, Smedley Butler, and Smedley Butler. You might appreciate this, Andy. He was a Marine. He won the Congressional Medal of Honor twice.
Oh, wow.
Now, to give you an idea what a badass this guy was, he turned down the third time, and he was not eligible for the CMH for like 18 years because he was an officer. And they changed the rules to allow officers. That's who this guy was. And he wrote a book called War is Hell. It's only like 60 pages out there. It's free. It's open source. Anybody can find the PDF. There's free audiobooks out of it. On LibriVox or America's Untold Stories. We cover him, and I'm gonna plug everybody. I love it.
I love it, Eric. I love it. I love it. On that note, let me read this one. Chris says, "I would tip more, but I need to simp for Ukraine and Amber Heard. Also, Twitter's gay."
That's a nice little Army PT jacket there, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You're gonna have to simp pretty hard to beat out Elon. I'm just saying.
Well, Elon did offer to train, Elon said he'd fight Putin. I think Rogan said he'd train him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, do you think he'd win though?
Hell no.
Against Putin?
Hell no. No, I would never fight Putin.
Who again?
Who would kill you.
Elon Musk versus Putin.
He died.
Oh, yeah.
Why would he die, Eric?
Because Putin knows how to kill you probably in 27 ways without even thinking about it. He did not survive through the KGB, through the Soviet Union, through living in Petersburg, through an area where it's easier to take you out than it is to run against you at certain times. The dude, everybody wants to say that he's just a megalomaniac, crazy person.
Short.
That may be, but the guy has been there for a while. He's a chess player.
Devil's advocate, though. I think that there's a specific mentality required to be a billionaire. I don't think to operate at that level with that many responsibilities and resources at hand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How much money do you think Putin has, Andy?
Oh,
Putin is a billionaire for sure.
For sure.
Putin probably has more money than Elon Musk.
That's what Elon said in an interview recently. I saw that clip.
It's true.
So I just
true.
want to point that out. So you take
Especially
the intelligence background, you take the under dire threat all the time, the military training, everything else, not to mention just what he's already shown with the judo and everything else. No, Elon would die. Joe Rogan would die. Oh, I mean, it would take like a David Goggins to go on him hand in hand, or a Jocko Willink maybe. But this is a different type of animal. You're in the army, and you know, Joe's never been trained to kill people. You know, Putin, his training isn't how to roll with people other than his fun judo. His training is how do you kill people as quickly as possible so you never deal with them again.
Right. And that's actual, like, if you're trying to, train to kill people, that's a different thing. You're not trying to fuck around with it. You're not trying to play by the rules. You're trying to literally.
The whole idea behind, army combatives is basically just, hey, how long can I hold this guy before someone comes in to help me out, more or less? Or how can I get this guy to, you can basically, choke him out until he passes out, which, by the way, that's happened to me before in combatives.
Congrats.
In the army. It was more about the experience of what it's like to get choked out, and it's literally just they put you to sleep. Is really what it is. You wake up again.
Night.
Except you have an amnesia.
Literally,
You have kind of an amnesia afterward, like what the hell just happened.
Almost, almost. You're kind of out of it. It was funny in my combatives class. I'm really great with these tangents, by the way. There's a guy.
I like it. I love it.
So there was a guy who passed out, and the instructor, like, he was like out, like dead, like a fish, right? Just is laying there. The instructor has this cup of water, pours it over his like, genitals, his and he wakes up. He's like, dude, what'd you do? He's like, oh my God. And then he's quickly explained to us, water, dude, relax. So
that would be mandatory. Oh, why did he explain? Should let him suffer for a while. No.
Oh, I don't know. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
That's pretty freaking hilarious.
You see, I could tell you're younger, because in my army they wouldn't tell him. No.
Someone told him, I think someone told. I don't know. I can't quite remember. But
it's a different army here now, Eric.
Yep.
Oh, everybody's army is a bigger pussy.
More LGBTQ plus flags.
Yeah, I had to take out my stilettos when I took combatives. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I was pre-integration.
Wait, were you Navy? I mean, I'm joking.
No.
Stilettos. I mean, that's Coast Guard stuff. So one thing, I'm glad Rihanna brought this up. Any federal gun law is an infringement on the Second Amendment. Strong statement.
Yes. Technically,
strong statement, but I agree with it.
Yep.
I do agree the federal government shouldn't be dealing with it at all.
It's there for a reason.
But it's one of the topics I wanted to bring up with you guys, and especially Eric, because Eric, I want to see if you think anything about this, because there's two things that I'm going to pin together. Number one, the ghost gun legislation, which Biden just dropped, right? The new rule on ghost guns.
Yeah, which is bullshit.
And then you had, at the same time, the subway shooter, right?
Oh, yeah. And you mean the person?
Yes, the person that we can't talk about his race, even though I'm going to play this video right here.
And, I've griped about this one before.
No, go ahead.
Do you remember the Asian female that's beaten like damn near to death outside the hotel?
Oh no, sorry, Eric. Which one? Because it's happened.
Well, it happens
often.
a lot. It happens a lot.
Yeah.
And Nate will be the first to admit it. But we'll just talk about this one.
Mm-hmm.
This headline summed up everything.
Mm-hmm.
Asian woman beaten by man. Now, Mark, he's worked in publishing forever with National Lampoon. He remembers the New York Times established a guideline that they were no longer going to publish the race of an individual who's a perpetrator. So you see that headline itself, race is only acknowledged for a victim. And it spread across the country, and that's why we have SUVs that kill people.
Yes.
You know, Alec Baldwin's gun or SUVs, they both control themselves.
Why is the victim, once again,
because they're always victims. And by the way, this is a paternalistic, disgusting, racist principle.
It's a racist principle. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wilsonian.
And by the way, if you want racism, folks, go to Asia.
Oh yeah. It's kind of open here. It's kind of open.
Well,
here.
Especially Japan. I mean, they're flat out. They want a pure culture.
No, they'll straight up say it. They'll straight up say it, and they're openly against each other, right? So it's like I'm here in Korea, Japan, China, everything else.
Even when the prime minister. Yeah. Even when the prime minister of Japan was trying to explain how their COVID numbers were so low, he's like, "Oh, he had to mention genetics in his response." He's like, "Oh, because we're also genetically superior." Something to that effect. It's just sort of like, my goodness, dude. Like you just like throws it out there. It's like,
but what are you gonna do? Yeah. What are you gonna do? Like,
well, we also removed black people from Disney movies for China.
Not just for China, but I mean, it's.
Well, I'm going to speak to that because I know that market and Disney explicitly.
Oh yeah, John Boyega is like shrunken like all the posters for Star Wars. Yeah,
and well, also
he's removed. Yeah,
they'll reshoot entire sequences now. You didn't know that?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
I am not.
Did you know that Iron Man has a whole different ending and everything in China than it does here? Yeah. They reshoot this shit.
Yep,
it's that bad.
Yep. They're not allowing the Mandarin in in the Iron Man movies.
Yeah, and then that's almost like Tilda Swinton in Doctor Strange, because her character, the ancient one, is supposed to be a Himalayan,
Tibetan.
Yeah, Tibetan. Yeah, Tibetan. Yeah,
I'm not gonna mess with that. Not gonna touch that on the foothills of the Himalayan mountains.
But coincidentally, they're perfectly fine with that, right? They're just some white chick who's out there. Yeah.
What was really bizarre about that, though, is that they claimed that to the director of the first Doctor Strange film was like, oh, that's people complaining about that are actually racist. It's just sort of like, what?
Well, by the way, we'll circle back to Elon Musk. It's confession through projection.
Yeah.
You do know that the Justice Department in California is now opening an investigation on Tesla and Musk as of today due to racism. And coincidentally, he's South African. I wonder where they came up with the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Big surprise.
It's weird. They're gonna, and that's gonna be, we talked about this on my channel, and I've talked about a lot of other channels, your channel, Eric, especially, is they're finding these creative causes of action, right? Because they've had these traditional lanes of attack. Like, we attacked the Second Amendment through the Supreme Court and challenging the laws. They figured out that's not going to work. So like, all right, how can we kind of collateral attack it? It's sort of like with the anti-tank missiles, how they don't come straight on, they come up and they land on the top of the tank and pop it. It's a different angle of attack. Like, for example, taking guns away. Yeah, you're not going to be able to do it through banning the Second Amendment. But if they're a domestic terrorist or they're domestically violent, right? You got red flag laws.
See, they're dumb though. Ban ammo. They can go after ammo all day because ammo doesn't prevent your right to bear arms. And fortunately, they haven't caught on all of it. But that really is it, because
don't give them ideas.
You're mentioning ghost guns, and the solution's already there. 3D printers makes it all moot.
Well,
they're not good enough yet, but they're getting really close. And once they're there, you're done. Doesn't matter anymore.
But the point is that they could say, okay, if you do that, you're breaking the law. Whether or not it matters.
So what? If you possess a gun, you're breaking the law. If you go shoot up a school, that stops everybody. Give me a break. I mean,
no, I agree with you, Eric.
Every gang member is breaking the law. Everybody who's robbing with a gun is breaking the law. The only people who are being affected are law-abiding people. Right. And that's it's kind of like my allergy medicine, for God's sake. I have to go and show an ID, a driver's license, to get pseudoephedrine because it clears my sinuses. Because what? Mm-hmm. Oh my God! Apparently, some people use it for crystal meth. So, I got a question for you. I've had to show my ID at the freaking pharmacy now for like 12 years. Has crystal meth stopped?
No, not even close.
Oh, I thought it did because I've been showing my ID and I've been doing my part.
To stop
Damn.
the pseudo
Doing my
fairies.
part. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris versus
Really, Jeremy? Really?
Well,
Come
right
on.
now, Putin, because
Bro.
Chuck's old as hell, but
Chuck is
it
old as
would have
shit,
been
yeah.
closer. It would have been
Young
closer,
Chuck.
but again, Putin's not going to go for a fight. He's going to go for a kill.
He's
And
gonna
it
go
would
for
be
a kill. Yeah.
Whatever happens to be around, that's
Right.
probably what you're going to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chuck
Even
will
if
be
you tell him
evangelizing
there's
him.
rules, he's gonna break the rules.
Chuck will evangelize him with a Christianity. Meanwhile, Putin's thinking about how quickly can I kill him? mid Bible verse or something.
Yeah.
Rianu, to all the females in council in the chat, something nutritious versus satisfying. Okay.
Being
Rihanna,
Context? I don't know without context. I'm afraid.
nutritious versus satisfying. I'm like, all right, you know,
processed
it's not
carbs
like-
versus unprocessed carbs. I mean, like,
Yeah.
what is he, where are we going with
I'm
this?
trying to get. Yeah,
all,
meth
all
versus.
meat. All meat
Yeah.
diet. That's where we're going with this.
Are you wait, Andy? Are you on it really on an all meat diet?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Dude, I love it. I really do love
How's
it.
your digestive system? Are you doing all right?
I'm
Need
like
some
an
fiber,
anaconda, bro. I'm like an anaconda, man.
It just slithers through.
No.
You're a
Well,
snake.
anacondas, they only eat so often. So the whole idea behind one of the ways you could do it is you could just sit there and you eat as much as you can. So I'll eat anywhere from 2 to 3 pounds of meat at a time. I had 3 pounds of chuck roast. Alita was over that the other night. I had 3 pounds of chuck roast.
You let her in your home?
I did, and I fed her too. I'm a good brother. I'm a
Allegedly.
Like a cat.
Yeah.
And then you send her away.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, but the whole idea is, again, it's just another form of ketogenic diet, basically, is what it is. So I feel better. I feel much more energetic in a lot of ways. But I'm going pretty intense with my dieting in terms of just like not only just carnivore, but also I haven't had alcohol since January 8th.
Okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my goal is to go 1,000 days without alcohol. So that'll put me like October 2024 before I can drink again. So basically that puts me up really close to my 40th birthday. So I might as well just go to one.
Oh man.
I become 40.
Yeah, hit that 40, Andy. Hit that 40. And then you can do the celebratory the toast for your 40th. That would be
drinking
that'd
40
be
on my
the way to
40th and be
break
like, I
your-
did
break
it.
your fast.
Yeah.
God, I
Yeah.
hope you're classier than a 40.
Yeah.
Well, that's like
it'd be like he's waiting all this
I
time.
guess the
and he
numbers
pulls
can be
out a freaking oh my god.
old
English
English,
800.
old English. Yeah.
or like some Jameson, right?
All right.
Right. Well, get a
Yeah.
40-year-old Scotch or something,
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I could never do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Something
it's an
momentous.
elimination diet, and Keaton is saying he did it. It made his IBS go away, got blood work, everything was 100% normal. In an elimination diet where you're just eliminating all but one thing, you know, there's probably something you were eating that's screwing up with you. It's hard to say what it was exactly.
As long as you're not, that's not the one thing you keep.
Yeah.
Right. If it's meat, and then you're fucked. Right. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you've been
I mean,
bitten
like,
by the what is it, the Lone Star tick? There's a tick that bites you and gives you an allergy to red meat.
that's horrifying. That
uh,
sounds
Lyme
Yeah,
miserable.
don't go near Middle America, Andy. It's like in Oklahoma, and like
Too late. I've
Texas.
been there, dude. That was part
Oh,
of
you're
that was that's this story right here. Fort Sill, Oklahoma. You know,
Okay.
Well, you live in LA area, right?
Orange County. Come on. Now.
Very
Close
clear.
enough.
Very
How
clear.
dare you? How
I'm
dare
so
you.
mad, Andy. Does this let you know? I'm so mad that I have to like touch the ground in California because I'm connecting my flight back to Korea is touching the ground in LAX, and I'm like, this is cringe, but it is the shortest route, and
And you're like, I'm spending a little too much time here between flights.
yeah.
If,
But
if
like
only-
literally, like changing flights is too much for me. I feel uncomfortable.
if there's only a way for you to have a layover and to get to John Wayne Airport down to Orange County, then that would be the
Well,
way.
yeah,
to do
there's
it.
also Anaheim, so I wouldn't get too excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Disney there, buddy. So anyway,
Yeah,
Yeah.
have fun with that. I was gonna say I would call us the three caballeros, except for number one, I'd be sued by Disney, and I'd have to figure out which one of the characters is LGBTQ because now 50% of them would have to be. I think it's Donald. I think Donald is devil because the parrot has too much machismo, but they'd probably try to make him Latinx. The parrot would be Latinx.
Yeah.
for
Probably.
sure.
Yeah.
What's his name? Pablo? Who's the parrot? The parrot's like Pablo.
Oh,
forget.
I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen that one.
You have kids,
Yeah.
bro. You're supposed to know this.
Dude, I watch all sorts of things. That one hasn't made it into the docket just yet.
Well, speaking of parrots, Gilbert Gottfried, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Oh, he died. Oh, I didn't even know he died.
Oh shit! Yes.
Oh, my God.
You're just not finding out?
Yeah, I guess I did just now. Yeah, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Wow,
Gilbert Gottfried's dead.
Actually, Tuesday he died, and it was crazy because on America's Untold Stories, look, it's just coming naturally. I'm going to hang out with Joe Neerman before too long. Anyway,
no, I love it. Like your shill level is 1,000, but we support that. We support the grift here.
My partner Mark worked with him at National Lampoon and then also at MTV To Go. And we were covering his time at MTV To Go. So we were already going to cover Gilbert Gottfried, and then he dies that same day. And so it was like over half hour of the show is just stories about Gilbert Gottfried, which we released as a special episode if anybody wants to hear it. He did some really funny stuff. Like
I love the filthiest joke ever told, the aristocrats.
Oh yeah. It was a Bob Saget's roast. Is that what it was?
I believe so. Yes.
Well, Saget's roast had the other legend who died at the same time and part of the voice trio, Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
Yep.
All that's left is Adam Carolla. If you're going to look at the honking scale of voices.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what was it? Here's an example story. It's funny when they were at MTV To Go. MTV Magazine was a partnership between MTV and BMG, which is a British music collective, Berlinger or whatever it was. And so these executives would come in from Germany, and Gilbert Gottfried would be around the office. So how would Gilbert Gottfried handle it? He walked around doing salutes in the hallway.
Oh my goodness.
Because that was anyway, it's full of stories like that.
Well, Gilbert Gottfried, I give him credit. I give him credit for having the balls to be at the bleeding edge of humor and to be the one who takes the shots.
Oh, for sure.
I think I'm going to say this. This is something I can only say like now 21 years afterwards, which is I respect him as a comedian for attempting to be the first one to make a 9/11 joke.
Oh,
however, it was bad timing, but I respect his balls in for humor. He was a consummate comedian, and the fact that he made the attempt, and he's like, all right, this is definitely too soon. However, I'm going to be the guy who's out there telling the most extreme jokes. I'm going to tell the filthiest jokes. I'm going to be out there, and I'm going to be that guy. I respect that he was committed. He had his principles of comedy, and he stuck to those principles.
He also wasn't political. He wasn't political.
He was not political.
Crude.
Well, he did do. You can look this up on YouTube. There was a video that he did to help promote this, what was supposed to be this conservative late night program. And he did a bit, like this little sketch with some people where they were talking about the NFL and the national anthem, Colin Kaepernick, and kneeling. And I remember just being like, oh my gosh. But then again, it's definitely within the, I guess, the comedic lexicon, if you will, of Gilbert Gottfried is one way to put that. I think it's worth checking out at some point. It's pretty hilarious.
Okay, so, yeah. If you know the name of the show, that'd be better, because it's like whenever you just get a lot of stuff. But with Gilbert Gottfried, because he's done a lot of good jokes. That's the problem with him. I mean, he's done so much that it's hard to find any one specific joke. But yeah, no, one of the great comedians, him and Bob Saget. And I loved Bob Saget.
And Norm, dude, do not leave Norm Macdonald out of that.
That's true. That's true.
And they all died within months of each other.
Yes.
Yeah, and then also, and then what's his name? It's more. This is what it is. More. I'll see if I can send this to you. On Twitter. Yeah.
Private chat on here, dude.
Oh, right there, private chat too. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the private chat there, and also you can share it too. And I'm happy.
Sorry.
To let you...
Boomer me, am I right? No.
Oh my God, Andy. Oh my God. This is why you're 40 and not in your 30s here. Chris, by the way, I just want to read this. He said, Andy, thank you for your service. My guy, next round is on me. Eric, you're right about 3D printing the guns. Andrew, will you help me with my legal name change? I'm going for Tina Tyler's Thottingham. You go, girl. I think there's going to come a point where if you are not changing your gender and your name, you're going to be silly. I think at some point it's going to be like, yeah, you might as well just declare yourself as
if you need to be that way for 50% of the parts So you're taking a population percentage that's like 1% and saying that the
Mhm.
parts are going to be 50%. Think about what that's doing. That's saying, okay, you're rewarded by playing this goofy ass game. Again,
Yep.
mind control.
Right. Like you got to play our game. You got to play our game, or you don't get to play. Right. We're gonna take your chips away.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
All right. So let me pull this up, and I'll show this. Even though it's Gilbert Godfrey, let some commercials play here. My Korean commercials.
Are you
But even
kidding
though
me?
it's-
You're too cheap to freak. Never mind.
No, well, no. I have it on my other thing, but there's some issues with.
What?
shows
Your
in Korea.
PayPal? Were you using PayPal to pay for it or something? Those kind of issues.
PayPal fucking hates me, which is why I'm like, I did like, okay, the second you guys can set up alternative payment platforms, like that's the biggest thing.
And by the way,
That's
folks,
100%.
when you say go to Venmo, remember PayPal owns them.
Exactly, people forget that. People are like, oh yeah, it's
Well, I know it's like everybody said, I'm so sick of Facebook, I'm going to Instagram.
What about Zelle?
Okay. Zelle is it's controlled by the banks, but I mean,
Cash
it's
App.
yeah. Here we go.
All right, look, I don't want to have to talk about this any more than you guys, but this whole kneeling thing, it's still an issue. We talked to all the owners, we talked to all the lawyers. They're going to give us the best PR guy they got, and hopefully he can help us figure this out, because right now is a real perfect storm.
Okay, everyone, shut up, be quiet, shut your assholes. Okay, we have a problem here. And what is this problem? Kneeling. Well, let me tell you something. You're all a bunch of fucking morons. Kneeling is the greatest thing that ever happened to us. Put up the chart, you useless fuck. In 2015, our biggest problem was concussions. That nearly ruined us. Will Smith did a fucking movie about it. No one saw it, but that's not important. Football was dying quicker than a 48-year-old offensive lineman. And in 2016, a Kwanzaa miracle. Colin Kaepernick took a knee, and this happened. No more talk about concussions, only about kneeling.
This kneeling, it is embarrassing.
Embarrassing? Oh, it's not embarrassing, my friend. Embarrassing is putting your legs behind your head in an effort to suck your own dick. And while you're doing it, the change is falling out of your pants pockets and going into your mouth. Next thing you know, your wife's giving you the Heimlich maneuver because a nickel is lodged in your windpipe, and all the while your dick is flapping around like a dying goldfish.
This is so good.
But anyway, concussions are the problem, and I will do anything to keep it out of the media. So, concussions bad, kneeling is good.
So you're saying kneeling's a good thing for us?
I'm saying kneeling is a great thing for us, and we need more bullshit like it. Here's an idea. Male cheerleaders. All male. All gay cheerleaders. We'll have end zone prayer rugs for our Muslim players.
Come on, man, you're just asking for controversy.
Now you're getting it, dickhead. We ran a simulation, and this is from our focus group on social media. These players can't stand for the flag, but they do their terrorist yoga on the internet. And then,
Oh shit.
Islam is a religion of peace, Dad. Not a word about concussion. We even tried
my
to
God.
bring up concussions in the simulation. Why isn't anyone talking about
There's a
concussion?
laughing
Laughing
emoji.
emoji. Yes.
Concussion. I could forget all about this same male cheerleader. It's
Oh.
perfect. More divisiveness, more controversy. We ruined Thanksgiving. Let's not ruin football. Come on, dipshit.
That was so good. I am so glad
That's
you
brilliant.
found that, Andy. That was excellent. Thank you so much. and a great tribute to Gilbert, right? Because that shows like his acting chops, his comedy chops, and that's a perfect thing. That's a perfect role for him.
I think
yeah.
a good I think a good segue to that what I just shared with you is what I put in the private chat there.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not sure if you've ever been on opensecrets.org.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is the investment opportunities, right?
Basically,
Korea doesn't like this. I like literally can't.
They
Actually,
don't
you know
like
what? Can you? Yeah, no. Can you open this because this is censored and I'm gonna have to like do a little bit of shit to fuck with my VPN right now to get this.
Let me see here.
Yeah, that's actually funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's actually really funny. That I can't even access that right now.
Okay. Oh geez, hold on a second.
Oh, you need a VPN.
Oh, no,
Why don't you get a VPN sponsor?
I have a VPN. I have a VPN, but I don't want to toggle it because it might bump the stream for a second. So I'm not trying to fuck with that.
No, I mean in general. Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
Eric, can you?
I should get a VPN sponsor.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
wait, wait, hold on. I can do it. Hold on. Sorry, right here.
But I'm not doing it until they pay me.
Can you see it right here?
Like
Can you see my screen right here?
Share it. Did you share it?
I thought I shared it. No.
Click on the bottom, share.
Oh, you know what? My
okay.
system preferences won't allow me. Eric, yeah, actually, can you share it?
I'll get it.
Yeah,
Jeez.
sorry, Boomer.
Eric is
bunch of
the
hacks.
pro here.
Yeah.
You need to try my try the Wave software now that it's starting to stabilize.
I was a fan of that.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
All right,
Yeah,
right
well,
here.
you know what? EricHunley.com/wave. Check it out.
There you go.
So what I shared here with you, Eric is actually, Eric's sharing his screen, but this right here, I'm not sure if you've ever been on opensecrets.org. My goodness, check out all the donors to the National Football League Political Action Committee. I had no idea they had their own PAC up until recently. Scroll down a little bit, Eric. Look at this. Look at this right here. Nancy Pelosi, $10,000. Steve Pizzoli's $10,000. Liz Cheney, $5,000. This is all the bones that they're throwing left
And
and
of course,
right.
you're going to see Liz Cheney at all the games. Just first person.
Oh,
Pelosi,
yeah.
that's exactly you think of.
Yep.
Right. When I think of football, I think of Pelosi.
Yeah. So.
Well, she does have the leather. Oh, never mind.
My goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is just so revealing right here. Just says a lot right there. Shows a lot of what's happening in the games.
Well, everything. I mean, if you and I'm too lazy to do it.
This is chump change though.
Following the money is so
Yeah.
huge. Well, actually, you're right, Andrew. That is chump change.
This is chump
And
change.
it shows how cheap it is to buy politicians. It's like no wonder they do it. It does not cost a lot to get a law that's going to make them a couple $1 billion. Oh, I mean, think of that investment. You drop $100,000 on somebody for $1 billion contract. It's nothing. I mean, it's pure chump change.
Or working with the local governments with these subsidies. I mean, the whole thing about the subsidization of arenas and stadiums and everything like that. Like I'm wholly against that because it always becomes a lowest bidder, or essentially the highest bidder, whoever bids the highest subsidy, right, to lower their taxes, to give benefits, to give incentives to that stadium, is the one that ends up winning. And they just end up pitting all these cities against each other for which one's willing to bend over backwards and take it and take away from all those social programs, from the building of roads, from the other public projects.
The Olympics are the worst. The Olympics are the absolute
destroy
worst.
Countries, Eric. They destroy countries.
Yep. And by the way, for people who want to argue and say that the Olympics, no, it brings all this industry and trade. The last Olympics that profited a city was the LA Olympics in 1984 because they reused the same facilities. They managed to shove that through. A good case study, though, to do a direct comparison is everybody brings up the Atlanta Olympics, saying that in 96, that put Atlanta on the map and everybody went there. However, it's bullshit because there's another southern city approximately the same size that has exploded equally as much, if not more, called Charlotte. And they're only a couple hundred miles from each other.
Yep.
and one had the Olympics, one didn't. Both grew. So it was a matter of people who were moving to the areas anyway and had nothing to do with the Olympics.
Right.
But wait,
It
hold
has
on.
to do with-
I just want to ask a group of question. Are we saying the Olympics ruined China? Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're really saying here? They ruined China.
well,
Well, they
China,
don't care
no,
about their
but
people. I mean,
but
they
China-
really don't
I'm
care about
making
it.
a
They're
joke.
disposable. So yeah, no, they're good
yeah,
to go.
and China has a well-storied history of building shit they don't need. Like go see Ghost Cities for details, right? I
Oh,
mean,
boy.
their building construction housing market is a true bubble, which has not popped yet. It'll be a while because of their requirements for marriage. I don't know if you knew that, Andy, but in China, even in Korea here, right? It's an expectation that you buy your own place, you purchase your own place before you get married, which is a massive issue for young people when the prices keep going up and you're expected to buy something that, for example, here in Seoul, that could cost you $500,000.
Dude,
to
that's
buy
that's slavery, man. Indentured servitude coming back.
yes,
Think about it. It's like, here, I'll provide you a house. Now do my shit.
Exactly. And by the way, in China, you don't even actually you don't actually own the house. You're actually technically just leasing it from the government, and you have to renew that lease.
Ugh.
You actually do not have a private property right. I don't know if you
Oh,
realize
I
that
believe
one.
it. I believe it. I mean, it's
Yeah. Fun stuff, guys. But thanks for definitely thanks for showing that one. Oh, and the South, one thing I want to say is like the transformation of the South over the past 20, 30, 40 years has been kind of insane. And you've seen so much move, like the financial industry, like Charlotte. I lived in North Carolina for a while. So like the financial industry, how much of it has moved to Charlotte, I think is definitely understated.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Because
it
the
was
overhead is
already
just so much
happening.
cheaper. Yeah.
Exactly. And why wouldn't you, right? And that's the whole thing we're seeing right now with
California.
with Miami is we're seeing that, the housing prices just went up 30 to 40% for, rent and housing, especially in the desirable areas, because everybody came down. So as much as it was like, yes, it's great, but almost, okay, can some of you get the hell out? Like if you're punching the blue card, can you get the hell out and go back where you're from? Because we don't need you down there in the city, because you're just dragging prices up and you're bringing your bad politics with you, which is what people are afraid of for Texas.
I'm from Arizona. I've been living with that. I lived with that shit growing up from California. Thanks, Andy.
You're welcome, Eric. Anything for
I
you,
held
buddy.
you personally. I held you personally accountable for all the shit that happened in California, even before you were born.
Yeah.
Yep. And guys,
Feelings are mutual.
So I'm about to bounce. So I know you've got to bounce, Eric, and I've got to bounce too to go over to Joe's. But let me catch the super chat here. I thought the last profitable Olympics was Calgary in '88. I mean,
I don't know. I know that what I've read, it was LA in '84, and it's been more recent. But you could be right.
Wasn't Seoul 88?
I was 2 years old then, so I mean, yeah, that's this is like
'84 was LA, I think.
How far
88
back
might
do you
have
have to
been
go
Seoul.
to be profitable? Is the fucking
Oh, wait,
80s.
Lake Placid was 80. I get confused.
Yeah,
Okay,
in Seoul, by the way, they reuse the facilities, but there's still a lot that just kind of sits there. But it is reused. The park is nice, actually. The area is nice. I was just there to watch the cherry blossoms, which I will upload some vlogs because I have a vlog of that. It's actually really cool little area.
You see, David's not doing the vlogs anymore, so Andrew's trying to step
I'm picking
in.
up the mantle, man. I got the time, and I'm doing some fun stuff. So especially since
looks fun.
the mandates are going to be lifted fully. We still have like a curfew, which doesn't matter if you're out. It's just restaurants and bars closed at midnight. That's being lifted as of Monday. So it's going to go back to 24 hours, and I'm like in the center of it. So definitely there'll be me drinking all night till 5 a.m. for sure to celebrate that.
Only in the spirit of it. Spirits in the spirit.
Yes, spirit of the spirit. Eric, what are you covering this week? What do you have on your menu? What's coming up for you?
Tomorrow, noon Eastern time, another legal panel. Apparently without legal mindset because he's a wimp. But whatever. Alita's going to be on there. Viva Fry will be on there. I believe Nate the Lawyer will be on there. Spidey should be popping in possibly from behavioral arts. I've got invites out to Nick and Emily. Don't know if they'll show or not. I never quite know until like the last minute, but it's almost always a great time. Oh, and Joe, I'll probably I forgot to send one to Joe. I'll probably have Joe on there.
Look, just send me the link. If I accidentally am drunk enough to be awake, then I will pop on there. That's
Somebody saying
my rule for
Lafayette.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
The Lafayette meme, I loved like the original Lafayette meme you did. That one was really, really good. The one, the title looked really cool. Andy,
well, and by the way, the invoice was created on my panels.
I don't use the invoice term.
Oh well,
but
it's still created there.
But it was created there. It was created there. And that was what really got us all connected. I got really connected to all the other lawyers through your panel. So, I always say shout out to you for doing that and putting everybody together and being the non-lawyer that can put up with our lawyer bullshit. And
that's two of us here.
Hey, okay. No, hold on. You're lawyer adjacent, Andy. So you've got a little bit more of a nepotistic connection. Eric is pure, sort of. But
Fair enough.
Not too pure.
No. We're not accusing. I would never accuse you of that. Andy, what do you got coming up? Do you have any big interviews, other things coming up on your channel?
Yeah, so actually I'm interviewing my brother tomorrow, my brother Anthony, who none of you have met yet. So fun fact about me and my brother Anthony, we were actually
Are you kidding? Andy and Anthony?
Yes.
You got to hold your head in shame just for that one.
Why?
This is not Opie.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry, Eric. No, but in all seriousness, so I'm interviewing my brother Anthony, and one of the things we're going to be talking about is fun fact about me and Anthony. Anthony and I were actually on a game show last year on Fox. It was Cherry's Wild. Jason Biggs was the host. You can actually find clips of us out on YouTube.
Is that Cherry Pie, Jason Biggs?
That's Cherry Pie. No, or Apple Pie, Jason Biggs. So American Pie. American Pie. Yeah, it's apple pie in the movie.
Well, okay, sorry.
He stuck his dick in apple pie. That's the whole point.
Yeah. There were pie jokes made on the side in between takes and stuff like that. But anyways, we're on a show, so we're actually going to be talking about that experience, just to kind of unpack that a little bit, have some fun with it, and and then have other cultural commentary conversations as well. So that's what we have going on. So if you want to check that out, please feel free to go to my YouTube channel, Andy the Gamemaker. The link has been floating around the chat, so just go ahead and click that, or I think that what you said it's in the description of the video. Is that live stream?
Yeah, description of the video. I'm going to put everything in the description of the video. So
perfect.
Oh, I'll sneak one more in. America's Untold Stories tomorrow. We're doing Ruth Payne. If you care about the Kennedy assassination,
I'll have to check that out.
Excellent. No, people point out you got to watch more. It's like I only have so much time in the day, but I also love hearing it from Eric live because Eric gets so animated about it. He goes into the stories didn't you know about this? And I'm like, yeah, I did not know. I now know, Eric. I appreciate knowing.
And crypto
it gives
sucks.
you, and it gives. Okay, have fun with that dollar, bro. Have fun with that petrodollar.
Random Graham is asking about the app I was talking about. It's called Insider. I know it's on it is in the App Store. You do be careful though, because it's a little bit clunky. I'm not sure how good it is in terms of an app, and they want you after 3 days you have to pay $130 for an entire year.
Oh,
to
hell
have
with
access to
that
information. I think that the information is on, floating around the internet. So,
is it Business Insider, their app, something?
No, it's called Insider. So it looks kind of like this.
Oh, by the way, great. If anybody wants a quick tip before I go, if you want to get something behind the paywall, this works quite often, like New York Times and other publications. Go to archive.ph and copy the URL that's got the paywall block, because a lot of times they've been archived for historical purposes, so you can read the article without the paywall. Word of advice, tip of the day.
That's actually, I'm bookmarking that literally right now. See,
I have another thing that you can get around paywalls. I'll drop it on my Twitter. If you want to just follow Crypto Cartel G, I'll drop it on there shortly. That's another one, just in case that one doesn't work. So.
Guys, follow all these guys on Twitter, YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe. I know you already subscribed to me, but subscribe to these guys. Guys, simp for them. They're worth simping for, unlike Amber Heard and unlike Ukraine, Zelensky in his leather outfit. Which we didn't even get into today. That's a story for another time, another tale. And until then.